We want to thank everybody for coming today. This is another miracle in the 28 years of Alpha Project. To me, it's just I'm overwhelmed by this potential this new building we're going to have here. Can everybody see this? Can I take that off of there? Anyway, it's really cool. It's going to be 205 units with 203 units, I believe, are for our supportive housing program. Most of the people that will be occupying this building are living down the street right now in the old Metro that are 100 square foot rooms with communal bathrooms down the hall. The Metro actually outlived its usefulness probably 10 years ago. And this has been a long process, probably about 6 years with Chelsea and Alpha Project working on this. Back in the days, I think, Jennifer, you were on the board back then. And Freddie Moss. Is Freddie here? And Freddie, another guy that pulled for this project to be built years ago. And right when we got to the cusp of building this 2 or 3 years ago, we all know what the governor did with the redevelopment agency and took all the money, and we kind of went back to square one. About just over a year ago, we met with Chelsea again, Jeff Graham at Civic, and said, let's see if we can get this thing built. Matt from Chelsea, just a tremendous blessing for us, did all the number crunching, and somehow, some way, I know we had a lot of discussions in our first meetings that there's no way you can build a project like this in 1 year. And by the grace of God, again, with a heap and help and a divine intervention, here we are today, with this building starting to go up as soon as we get off the lot. So it's another reason I'm trying to make this short and sweet, because we're paying those guys to stand around right now. And I've been driving around buildings. I'm a third generation San Diego, and driving around buildings down here and seeing how the East Village is gentrified over the years, and not really caring, kind of looking at buildings going like, well, that's kind of cool. That's cool. It's going up. Well, now that we're, have a financial interest in this thing, and we have timelines and benchmarks and contingencies and stuff, I'm a nervous wreck. And the worst thing that's probably happened is they put that little camera on the building over here so you can look at this 24/7. If anybody's got a spare room at their house, I'm sure my wife is going to kick me out about 9-10 times over the next 18 months because I'm a wreck. Once again, it's a tremendous blessing for our folks. These rooms are going to be 2.5 times the size of where they're at now, with in-room bathrooms, which is a big deal. Air conditioning. It's a green building with solar on top. We have a park on the roof on the southeast corner. We have a park inside the building with community rooms, 18-foot glass walls with a commercial kitchen on the bottom floor. We're going to have micro-enterprise retail on the bottom floor. It's just going to be a tremendous. We have a waterfall. What kind of a waterfall? Water treatment. So we'll be sitting there staring at that thing all day, like zenning out. But, I want to thank all the community groups too, David and Gary and Mike Madigan and the guys over the months that helped us design this building. Got the commitments from those planning groups to support this project. The Housing Commission Board, obviously, I call it the CCDC Board, but the Civic San Diego Board, the City Council, everybody that just partnered with us to fast track this project. And it's just been a tremendous miracle, and it's going to be a tremendous blessing to this community also. With that being said, I know Todd, my friend, who is I think he's the San Diego's version of Winston Churchill when it comes to public speaking. All-around good guy, has a tremendous heart for the poor and the disenfranchised, the folks that kind of get marginalized many times. He's been at the forefront of all the initiatives that have come through San Diego since his tenure on City Council. And you were a tremendous interim mayor also, my friend. So without further ado, my friend, City Council President Todd Gloria. I forgot to mention GQ.
GQ. I'll take Winston Churchill. I've been called worse. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful day for a groundbreaking. I will try to be brief because I recognize as a third-generation San Diegan, this is like a weather event that's happening right now. Like 90 degrees and wind. I mean, don't worry, I'll call FEMA later. We'll get a disaster declared shortly. So out of respect and sensitivity to all the native San Diegans, we want to go through this quickly, but we want to mark this occasion because I know I see a lot of faces in this audience who have fought so hard for this particular project because we have a grander plan. This is only a building block of an overall plan that we have for ending homelessness in our city. Now, when we say that, I know oftentimes people shrug and say, that sounds impossible. It is not impossible. And the way that we do it is by building housing units like the ones that will be here at Alpha Square. And so before I go any further, I want to make sure I have enlisted all of you in this campaign to end homelessness, starting in downtown by 2016 and then taking it citywide with the practices that we confirm work here in downtown. So do you believe we can end homelessness in San Diego?
Yes.
Can we do it?
Yes.
I know that we can, and the reason I know we can is that my colleagues in Phoenix and in Salt Lake have been able to stand up and say they've done it themselves. And I don't know about you, but I know that San Diego is better than Phoenix and Salt Lake City. Am I right?
Amen.
So we're going to do it. We're going to get it done. And we can't get it done without tremendous collaboration. There are so many people that Bob had mentioned that are a part of this, and I want to start with the one that he didn't talk about because he's a humble guy. I don't know if you know Bob McElroy. He's a humble guy, but Alpha Project has done incredible work for many, many years. As you know, they are the folks that bring us the Neil Good Day Center. That's a critical component of our continuum of care. They are the folks that help run our winter shelter for years and years and years, helping to provide a place during a very difficult time, almost as bad a weather as what we're dealing with right now. And importantly, they've run the Hotel Metro for many years. And the Hotel Metro is an important place. It's one of the lowest rungs on our housing ladder that we have, and it's there for folks who are coming and getting out. And we know that we can do better than what's going on at Hotel Metro. You don't have to share bathrooms. You don't have to have substandard size units. And Bob has dreamed for something bigger. His staff has dreamed for something bigger, and that's what today is about. So to Alpha Project, on behalf of the city, thank you for what you do each and every single day. Now, I mentioned it's about collaboration, and we have our wonderful Civic San Diego. Andy Phillips is here. Andy, where are you at? I saw you milling around. Not in the back. You can't be in the back. You're the president of the organization. Andy Phillips and the Civic San Diego team, who provided $17.1 million for this project. These things aren't free, ladies and gentlemen. We have to raise the resources to get this done. Civic came in with an important amount of money to make that so. And of course, they are our fabulous duo when it comes to affordable housing. We got Civic, and when they're together with the Housing Commission, amazing things happen. And Rick Gentry is here, our president and CEO of the Housing Commission, who's providing 76 supportive housing vouchers facilitated $6.3 million with the housing revenue bonds to make this possible. Rick, thank you for your leadership on this issue. I know that we've made leaps and bounds in the last 5 or 6 years because of your leadership, so thank you very much. And of course, we have a number of folks who, the people who have to build this. Chelsea Investment Corporation, who is one of the very best in this business. I know that when Chelsea comes in, I can stand in front of my constituents and say, this is going to be a quality project that you want in your neighborhood. So to Chelsea, thank you for what you do. And then to our stakeholders, I see so many service providers, leaders like Jennifer Lazar and Sister Raimunda and others who have been in this fight, who are helping us to end homelessness. We can do it. And with the leadership of these individuals and so many others, particularly in our business community. I think what I've seen has changed so much is that we have leaders like Jerry Sanders, the president and CEO of our Chamber of Commerce, who's at the table saying that they too understand why we must end homelessness. And so their support is critical. And lastly, I want to thank my own staff who is here today. We have Anthony Bernal and Steve Hill from my team. They're the folks that go out and talk to the neighbors, that go before the community planning groups, that help make these things happen. Guys, thanks for your critical work and making this possible. And so I wanted to be brief, and so I've more than extended my welcome, but I just want to make sure that everyone understands the importance of today. 201 additional units. We have about 10,000 homeless people in our county. 201 units is a significant step, but so much more needs to be done. And with the kind of collaboration that we have going on here today with great leaders like Bob, like Andy, like Rick, like Jennifer, we will end homelessness. Am I right?
Amen.
Have I enlisted you in this effort?
Amen.
Fantastic. Thank you all very, very much. And again, Alpha Project, congratulations.
Thanks, Winston. Todd. Next speaker, Rick Gentry, who this guy's just a solid young man. Still has hair. Since Rick's been at the Housing Commission, I think the homelessness has really raised his profile Even though the Housing Commission is charged with helping the poor and disenfranchised, their priorities is families. I think you said there's 25,000 families waiting on a 45,000. Wow. And still, his focus and his team's focus has been on the homeless in downtown San Diego. We've had a lot of sidebar conversations, and everything Rick's always told me has always come to be true. He's always supported us 100%. Great advice, direction many times, and I'm proud to just call you my friend. Rick Gentry, President and CEO of the San Diego Housing Commission.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Bob, thank you, and good morning. Now, you should know that I have lived in Florida and I have lived in Texas, and this is not hot. This is a springtime day in Texas. But given the fact that there's so many San Diego natives here, and I'm becoming one very quickly, I'll make this very quick, very brief, very short. Number one, the Housing Commission is very firmly behind the mayor's effort, as well as the city council president's effort, and the city's policies of ending homelessness in San Diego. And I think that what you heard Todd Gloria say is eminently doable, and we are very pleased and proud and glad to be a part of it. We're very pleased and proud to be a part of this effort, and we think that not only is Alpha Square going to be a facility that will serve some of the families and individuals most in need in this community, but it will also be an integral part of the redevelopment of East Village. You look around us, you just listen to the sounds, and to any developer's ear, and the Housing Commission does have that element to us. This sound, the sound of development, is a welcome sound, and it's a sign that this part of the city is coming on strong. And the Housing Commission is very pleased and proud to be a part of that. I'd like to thank our partners, the City of San Diego, Chelsea Investment Corporation, Alpha Project, of course, and Civic San Diego. It took all these partners to make this effort work, and also to the team of staff at the San Diego Housing Commission, led by our Senior Vice President, Debbie Ruane, as well as our Senior Director of Housing Finance, Ann Kern, and our Real Estate Manager, Ted Miyahara. It took all these folks to make it happen. There are folks who make me look good all the time, whether I deserve it or not. Staff, thank you. And Bob, thank you for having us here. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Rick. Next, Cynthia Morgan, Chairperson of the Board of Directors of Civic San Diego. Tough job, that's for absolutely sure. And one of the questions when we went to the Civic Board, I think it was Cynthia, you're the one who went, yeah. And she's going like, why, these rooms may not be big enough. Can we make them bigger? And we had to keep the same density on this 20,000 square foot footprint. And she took the time to come down the metro and see what people are living in now. And I think it really changed her. I know it changed her perspectives as we talk later on. And, she offered her unanimous support to keep this project going fast track and also offer some of her insight and expertise. And I truly appreciate that. Cynthia Morgan, Chairperson, Board of Directors, Civic San Diego.
Thank you very much, Bob. And I was actually going to tell that story. So I am a former resident of East Village, and I've been involved with East Village Association and then the Center City Development Corporation prior to Civic San Diego on the Center City Advisory Committee. And Bob and Alpha are awesome. And I say that because anytime that I've had a concern or an issue, whether it be a resident or a community planning member or now on the Board of Civic, I've reached out, or actually Bob has reached out, I should say, and I've approached him and said, Bob, I don't quite understand this project, or I have concerns about the homeless tent that you do. And every time Alpha has come forward, extended their arms, and enveloped anybody who had questions and shown them the way. And I will say I'm definitely one of those people. He showed me the homeless tent, I was converted. He showed me the current occupancy of what we have, and I was converted. And the question I had was, gee, it's great that we're going from 100 square feet per unit to 250 or 350, but that seems really small. After I went and saw where we currently are at the Hotel Metro, I knew that what we were going to have in its place was by far a huge improvement. So I really want to congratulate Alpha Project today because Alpha has continued to be a long-standing member of this community and proven itself to be a wonderful community member, advocate for homeless and those in need, and will, by this building, be a testament to what can be done when you have committed people like the Alpha Project. So I also want to just quickly identify those people at Civic San Diego who really made this happen, which is not me, but the wonderful professional staff we have, Jeff Graham, Andy Phillips, Iri Kuminai, and Eli Sanchez, as well as Lucy Contreras and Brad Richter. So thank you very much. This is a wonderful project, and we're really thrilled that we can be a part of it.
Thanks, Cynthia. Next, the big shot. Probably the person that has the most, that's been responsible the most for bringing the Housing First model to San Diego. I've known Jennifer way back when. Long time. She earned my respect way back in the day when she jumped on the back of our outreach truck, and Tony did also. But Jennifer, her enthusiasm going through the streets of San Diego after hours, 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night, handing out sleeping bags, spending time to fellowship with people, get to know who the population was. I mean, she didn't have to do any of that kind of stuff. And I usually, I don't believe much about what people tell me. I go by what I see. And to see Jennifer jumping on and off that truck with the enthusiasm that she has and then pushing me to do this. It costs a couple of grand to do that every time we go out and do it, and she wants to do it again. But she earned my respect right off the top. And then she's been a tremendous advocate for the poor and disenfranchised in this town as long as I've known her, as has Tony. But this new initiative that's kind of sweeping the country, this Housing First model, I think we can attribute 100% of that to Jennifer's leadership, with the leadership group downtown. I had questions when we first started. We are all in on this initiative. This Alpha Square will be an integral part of implementing that program. Thanks to Rick and the Housing Commission, we've got a pilot grant where we've already placed 40 people. It's called Rapid Rehousing, which is kind of a carbon copy of what we're looking at with the Housing First model. But 40 people already, and we haven't even started yet. This week at the shelter, there's a new information assessment tool called a SPDAT, and I don't know what that all stands for. It's a long sentence, but it's really a tool by which we can better get an idea of the people we're dealing with, their issues, their trials and tribulations, where they stand at. And it's an assessment tool, and we'll be able to integrate that into an information system that we can use between all providers to better serve the people that we have, and to really take the people that are the most at risk, the most infirm, to get them off the streets first and then work on the back end of the crowd. So, Jennifer, this community can't thank you enough, and I can't thank you enough for your leadership. Jennifer Lasar.
Well, it's getting hotter every second I'm sitting in that chair. So I'm going to be really brief, but I have three themes that I want to just share with you. One is that all of us here, we are everyday heroes. The second is we all need to embrace our own ability to be leaders, to have vision and to set big goals and to team with other people who have set big goals. And lastly, I want to talk about a theme of transactions to transformation. Ending homelessness is a goal we've been working on pretty fervently for about 5 years, and we have just a lot more momentum than we've ever had because of our political leadership, because of our incredibly wonderful housing services delivery community who is embracing housing first, and we're all looking so hard at what we're doing and trying to figure out how we do better. But I want to talk about everyday heroes. Whether you are putting some money into an organization that's doing something good, serving on the point in time count and helping to educate the homeless, or just in your everyday job, talking to people about how we end homelessness and getting on board. We need everybody to operate at that level, and it's not a exciting level, but we need more and more people to do it. And we need each of us to believe, as the council president has said, that we can end homelessness by 2016. There are only about 800 people on the street in downtown San Diego. It varies, but 800 people across 2.5 years, completely doable. When you break it down month by month, we'll get there. When you bring on 200 units like this today, that is many months of the number that we need of units to end housing. And so, I ask all of us to believe that we can end homelessness and to talk about it, because that's how it happens. And then I want to talk just about transactions to transformation. This is an incredibly important project. It's got very complicated financing. All of you who finance it here, you're my heroes. But as you know, if you work on these things, it's detailed, it's grinding, it's tedious, it's technical. But all of us in our jobs do something that's very transaction-oriented. But I ask each of you to remember when you do it that we're doing it because we are transforming the way we do business here in San Diego. We're transforming this system of how we work on homelessness, from managing it to ending it. We've recruited so many incredibly great, powerful voices and all of us to embrace this goal. And so I want to close actually by just going through this and talking about how special Bob and Amy and the Alpha team are to me. When we did Blitz Week in 2012, we got 86 people off the street in 3 days, thanks to many here, including Rick, who gave vouchers, and the county who brought services. But one of the things in doing that is we're talking about very difficult clients, and they didn't always succeed in their first housing placement. And when we needed to move them in the first week, we just called Amy. I don't know where Amy is. Amy is like my hero, okay? Because Amy and Bob will deal with the hardest people no matter what. And like Todd said, the Alpha projects that this will replace, they're very low barrier. And you guys are really a low barrier program, and we need that for the hardest to hit. Bob and Amy, endless advocacy. If you spend any time with Bob, he's probably asked you for something, told you what he needs, and told you what he thinks. So endless leadership and advocacy, and I thank you for all your years of service. And, it's not always pleasant, right? Bob's like, we need more of this, Jen, and we want you to do this better. But I think that's so important that we all push each other. You're mostly pleasant, but I welcome getting an earful from you of how we can do things better. And then again, transactions to transformation. As important as this is, as fantastic as this is really bigger than the building itself. It's part of transforming our system, and I thank Alpha for being an incredible leader and embracing that change. Thank you, Bob.
I am truly blessed by the best, and I have the best team in the world. Our little staff, our administrative staff, is about 7 people, and we run 14 programs in 7 different cities, from Chula Vista to Oakland. In fact, Chelsea, God bless them again, very complex deal we're closing up. It's acquisition rehab in Oakland, and how these guys do it, without being raging alcoholics, I have no idea, but they pull it off. Next is kind of a fun thing for us. One of our great partners who probably partnered with me 25, 26 years ago, back in the day when BIA was big downtown, and they've come back into the philanthropic world as far as when it comes to the homeless and stuff like that. I got to speak. I had the privilege. If you ever want to go to a good party, go to the BIA. Was it a convention or what was that? It was the installation dinner. Man, plan on spending the time downtown or getting an Uber car, but it's a fun time. But Jim Schmidt, who's the president and CEO of Chelsea, has just been what do you call inducted? What do you call it when they put him in? What do you call it? He's the chairman now of the board, and which is a blessing to us. And somehow, some way, he got us a grant from the BIA, who's going to be actively involved in helping us dress out some of the rooms and doing some of the finer touches here as we build this building. So just a great bunch of men and women. It's a fun time, and we're going to have a little presentation here today. Ryan Martin, BIA Cares, President.
Appreciate it. Good morning. Beautiful, beautiful morning it is. It's a pleasure to be here today on behalf of BIA and BIA Cares. We really appreciate this opportunity, and thank you, Bob, for your time this morning. BIA Cares is the non-profit affiliate of the Building Industry Association of San Diego. Over the years, CARES has supported a wide variety of causes such as scholarships, and we also have a holiday bike drive in which we have given away, well, this year we gave away 240 bikes to underprivileged kids. And we also gave away $15,000 in scholarships this past year to students who really needed the help to get themselves into college and pave their way there. Like BIA Cares is also committed to all San Diegans. Last year, we made a grant of $18,000 to retrofit the bathrooms in homes for severely disabled persons. That was a wonderful project for us. Over the last couple of years, we've done replaced some roofs on Noah Homes, a facility that provides housing and care for 70 adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We granted them $60,000 for that project, and it was a huge success, and it turned out really, really well. We also installed a new HVAC system, which days like today, we all use it. We start getting paranoid when it gets close to 90. We did that for Home of the Guiding Hands and their disabled residents, and that was also a project we were very proud to be involved in. Housing Opportunities Incorporated was a predecessor of BIA Cares and was also affiliated with the BIA. HOI was instrumental in the development of Hotel Metro, an SRO project for low-income San Diegans, which was developed in 1980. Your new project, Alpha Square, is a replacement for the old Hotel Metro. BIA Cares is pleased to collaborate with you on the development of Alpha Square. We really are. It's a blessing for us. We have previously announced that BIA Cares will assist you with the design and development of the community space that will serve the residents, which will be fun for myself and the rest of the CARES board. And we look forward to collaborating with you on that project. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Amen, brother.
Today, however, we want to present you with a check for $10,000 to demonstrate our commitment to the Alpha Project and to its critical mission of providing housing for very low-income San Diegans. You want the big one or small one?
Wow. Take that to the bank. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
1, 2, 3. There we go. That's called broken.
Yeah.
Now fix it, Bob.
One take.